Welcome back. Project Mukorob is a joint strategic partnership between MultiChoice Namibia and the Namibian Broadcasting Corporation. The project, which is a year in the making, is aimed at producing wholly Namibian feature films for global distribution while developing the local film industry. And following the announcement of the 13 producers selected out of over 200 submissions to participate in the first phase of the local film production project, MultiChoice Namibia has released details of the completed films, which were produced in close collaboration with the national broadcaster NBC. The 13 local films are set to debut this September, and joining us with more on this is the Director General of the NBC, Mr. Stanley Similo. Good evening and welcome.
Good evening, Nina. Good evening to the viewers.
Thank you so much for being here. Perhaps we can start with you just giving us a bit more detail on these 13 local films that are set to be aired on GoTV and DSTV.
Yes, maybe let me start by thanking MultiChoice Namibia and by extension the bigger group on the continent as well, and Mr. Hertza Roger, who's been pivotal in making sure that the NBC landed the function of actually producing the 13 films within the first phase for Mnet actually. It was really quite a great gesture from their end, and for us at NBC also equally quite a nice challenge, in that we saw this as a means of entities coming together to collaborate. That's one. And then secondly, what it also did was really just to create a space where creative people could come and live their passion of creating things out of absolutely nothing. So, but as you know, with these projects, especially on the creative side, it's not always easy, because these are feelings that people put into their projects, and naturally, and for us who's been in the business for quite some time, we know that when these things are happening, it's fun, and depending if you're stiff, you might not appreciate it, but at the end of the day, what counts is the end product. And I must say that the level of participants, you had those that were already in the business, and they literally brought their A games into this year, to the extent that with all the films that we have that are done, the 13 that have been submitted now, we have seen the detail in which Namibians can tell stories. And also, from what we've observed, I think about 5 out of the 13 have a strong Afrikaans feel to it as well. And based on what Mnet will be doing, I think these ones will premiere on the CakeNet element of it, exactly because of the Afrikaans element into that. And then the rest of those will then be spread as from September towards December. And then as the entity that owns the rights, the Mnet group will only give NBC rights for screening from December onwards, which was part of the overall deal agreement, as well. So we are all excited, and I must say, coming from where COVID left the industry, I think this was quite a great intervention. So I cannot overemphasize my own happiness around what we've achieved, given where we are coming from as well. And of course, there's been great learnings in terms of where we are going. And remember also, Nina, it's the first time that at grand scale, at this level, that so many productions could be put onto the table as well.
And it seems like it was just the other day that, the announcement of the collaboration was made, and, from the 200 to the 13, were selected, and of course now they've become a reality. So was there a specific time frame put to when production, how long production needed to take?
Yeah, the initial planning was around 12 months, but as you know, with projects, it's either you can finish early, or you can do it on time, or you can have a slight overrun as well. But, and I must stress again, given the nature of the type of films that people had to make, there was a lot of, and I always say, producers and directors, when they go into this, they do not just narrate a story and bring it to life. They relate intimately with this story. And then if you are at the background, most probably giving the resource. If you don't understand it, you can potentially mess up quite a great idea. But I must say that despite everything that I've said, I think the teams delivered, because the nice part is as well is that towards the end of the project, there was also an element of quality assurance, which was also wholly Namibian,
Right.
which then made the project even more Namibian. I mean, you have 13 authentic Namibian stories, which will soon hit the screens, and depending on where you are, people might also be able to watch them, I think, globally as well. And then the Mnet group, as you know, it's quite a big one. So their reach is beyond the borders of just Namibia and South Africa. So I think the propensity of people who would sort of identify and find affinity with these stories, I think they will like them.
This is actually really something quite special and such an iconic milestone.
No,
Really.
it is, Nina. And I think one cannot overemphasize it because, and as you are saying, just more than a year ago, it was like, we will never get to this stage. And guess what? We are here.
Yeah.
And soon they will be on the screens. And for all the producers that partook, I can only take off my head. And then also from those from the NBC that were driving the process on technically and creatively on the part of Mnet, for them as well. I mean, everybody has put in their part. They've done the best that they can. And I think where we are now, people will be asking what's next.
Yeah, of course.
And unfortunately, that is the call for Mnet, because remember, it's their project. We were just as appointed as the producer to carry it out for them.
This, of course, would be such a boost of confidence to the producers, local producers, in having their films exposed on a platform such as this. And I want to know what you believe this would mean in terms for Namibia's local film industry, because it's quite an exposure.
Yeah, look, as I've said right at the onset, when we got this job as NBC to produce this, I was saying, and we're still imploring, that mainstream corporate Namibia should start putting money into arts. There are pockets within this industry, arts as broad as it is, be it music, be it those that are into painting, those that are singing, musicians, and filmmakers. The support that is currently coming from within the country is really not there, to be honest. And there are so many people that are great with ideas at a creative level. But getting them to do what they have to do, that's the thing that is actually holding us back. So we're hoping that those that are sitting with deep pockets, hopefully when they see this, they might have a change of mind that will seek to say, maybe we need to start investing in that as well. And then I'm hoping that maybe from the Mnet side of business, this could potentially be a platform that can be used to try and get others on board as well. So start supporting, because the more resources you put in, the more busy these creative people will be. And the more busy that becomes, it's an industry, it is huge. At the periphery, there's so much that is happening in terms of trying to get people to get to where they are. And the one good thing that will come out of this is that there will be a noticeable presence of Namibians. Not that they have not done that. That is happening, but this is happening at a level amplified.
Seeing as how successful this partnership between the NBC and MultiChoice has turned out to be, is the area going to repeat this project?
Well, as I said much earlier on, that's entirely within the purview and ambit of Mnet, since they are the funding partner. And whatever they decide, it still will be within the interest of Namibia as a whole. But as NBC, for us, it really has been quite a great opportunity, because our own people also, in as much as they might have thought they know, there's many other aspects of filmmaking that they would have learned. Because remember, apart from just the producing elements, filming and all of that, there were schools where people had to go through script writing, critiquing the work that has been done with the view of improving the ultimate product. So there's been a lot of learning that actually took place.
So what channels on GoTV and DSTV can we look forward to this? You mentioned the Afrikaans channel.
I know about the Cape, and then I think, I'm not too sure whether they have, I think Showmax might also have they will also play into this as well. But as you know, with their extensive network, I'm sure that they will try and have it as broad as particularly possible. But as NBC, as per the contract agreements, we will only towards December then start showing.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we'll also make the noise the way it should, yeah.
Well, from NBC to NBC, Mr. Similo, great job and well done.
No, thank you very much. And thank you as well for yourself with the show. I remember when we started the show, there was a lot of skepticism. People were skeptic that will this thing work, will it not work? But I've been tracking all the new programs, and in any event, yours and the one of Jonas, Situation Critical, and the one of Daniel, Wheels of Justice, and also in the community. There's programs, you know, they've become favorites amongst people as well.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying let's just create. Let's give people a space, let's give them a voice, let people be seen.
Yeah.
And as you know, this weekend for us is also a jam-packed one. There's many things happening. Tomorrow we're officially launching, I think, the Battle of All in terms of making the draws. And then there's the Kaisames event in Uchiwarongo. And some of the teams have already started leaving for the north for the Ongoniva Trade Fair as well. So we perpetually remain on the move.
On the ball,
Yes,
constantly.
yeah.
Mr. Similo, thank you so much for your time.
Always a pleasure,
Thank you
and
for
keep up
joining
the
us.
good work. Thank you very much.
That was the Director General of the NBC, Mr. Stanley Similo, speaking to us. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Also, please do remember that the films will be aired on DSTV and GoTV platforms as